So here I have Double Dragon 3 on the Sega Genesis, and I just wanted to take a second to talk about the packaging here. This is probably the cheesiest artwork I've ever seen on a video game like this. I mean, they look like they just came from a Kiss concert. They seriously look like a hair metal group with these spikes and chains and everything. This game, it's a beat-em-up style game, so it's about your fists, not about a mace and a stake and nunchucks and all this stuff they have here. Now we're going to actually play this game and see if it's any good.
Ooh, Egyptian-y. Gotta admit though, this is pretty beast music.
Wait, Double Dragon 3 the Rosetta Stone? I thought it was called Double Dragon 3 the arcade game.
Ew.
Is that E.T.?
It's terrifying!
We should review that game too. Yep, and they look like they're in the Kiss Army on the front of the case.
Kiss Army?
Well, minus the makeup. Well, the graphics are actually not that bad. But who has
Did you see how far I just jumped?
What's with all these guys just wanting to beat you up?
That's how America was.
Apparently.
And you mean is? Actually, it's probably worse now.
Yeah. Wait a minute, all these guys are white.
Except for that guy. He's somewhat ethnic.
So basically, you have punch, jump, and kick. And not really much else. Even though I'm using the 6-button controller, nothing else seems to be working. And I don't think... Ooh, jump kick. That's always a fun move.
He just kicked you and you flew like 10 feet back.
Well, look at him in his quadruplets.
So, as far as fighting games go, it's really not that bad as far as, you know, control.
The same thing happens there, where you faint.
Yeah.
And I do like the arcade-style scoring system and how you press start to buy in. It's like you're actually playing it at an arcade, and that's a nice feature. I mean, it was an arcade game. I still don't understand this Rosetta Stone business because that really wasn't advertised at all.
Why are they all wearing black and blue?
I don't know.
Yeah, and the color scheme is a little bit more, you know, it's a lot worse than the NES version. That could just be a Genesis thing. It's kind of like dark grays and blues, and I don't see much else color for that reason.
It's not, but it's a pretty bland background,
Well,
too.
look at the detail. I mean, it's supposed to be an alleyway, and there are little cracks up in the side. I mean, you didn't really have the detail you do with this on the NES version. But of course, it is 16-bit. But here you have a little more diverse colors.
Oh my gosh, this level drives me insane. This guy just basically comes at you, and there's no way to take him down, even in the 2-player mode.
Here, why don't you go ahead and buy in then, John?
Alright, you have the other controller in?
Yep, got it plugged up and everything.
Alright, sweet.
Whenever you're ready. Dodge in.
Alright,
Ah, Ginger!
Yeah.
I forget how you take this guy out. It's a really weird thing, though.
What am I doing?
Well, I would kick some off a motorcycle.
I'll just turn the auto fire off. Maybe that will solve my problems. I'm using the Mega Fire, by the way. He's got the 6-button, I've got the Mega Fire. You'd think that would give us an edge over this guy.
So are these guys, like, related? Or do they just, like, Twin Day or something?
Well, it's kind of like Contra, where you have a blue guy and a red guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is that same feature. I mean, that concept started on the Atari with Maze Craze and games like that, where you just be player 1 and player 2.
Wow.
How are we supposed to beat this guy?
The music is so loud you can't even hear some of the sound effects. I guess
Yeah,
you just kick him off.
I don't really like the music as much as the NES version.
Wait, what? There's another guy?
How many of them are there?
I just wish you could pick up the motorcycle and beat people with
Oh, got him.
Mario.
Yep. Alright, now we just get some more guys to beat up.
That's always nice.
Yeah, so, as far as control goes, it's actually not that bad. The 3 buttons really does give you an advantage, or at least the 3 buttons on mine. Nathan has 6. So,
But the top 3 buttons here don't do a thing.
okay, so you do have 3 buttons, which means 3 different attacks, which is an edge over the NES, but this is the Genesis, so it's supposed to have that kind of edge. I mean, the more buttons you have, especially in a fighting game, the more you're going to be able to do, usually.
And
that means
remember,
less annoying combinations,
Yeah,
too.
combinations are usually a bad thing, unless they're executed well.
remember, Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
The first... Oh, it's Yoda.
It is Yoda.
The first stone is in China. Oh, so you're tracking down the Rosetta Stone.
Why didn't you tell us that before we had to go fight all those guys?
Which is apparently broken up in a million pieces and spread across the world.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind that this is, what, 92, 93? I think we would have known about
So the world wasn't even
that.
explored all the way yet.
Of course it wasn't, mate.
Okay, the Chinese music is pretty annoying.
Yeah. I wish they would have stuck with the original theme for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, a 16-bit rendition would have been great to hear.
Yeah. And it's not like it was the sequel, so they were trying something new. It was the third one.
This is one feature that I actually do like. You use your coins to buy stuff in the game.
This reminds me a lot of Zelda, like how it's set up. You go in a cave and then you got some guy standing there selling you stuff.
Alright, now, this is my Game Boy Color. I love it to death, and I play it all the time, but for the sake of the review, Double Dragon 3 is going to have to be played on the Super Game Boy. Now, this is actually a Super Nintendo cartridge where you can plug your Game Boy game into the top. That was a great idea, especially for people who didn't like to buy batteries or who didn't have a lot around. So you didn't have to sit in your room and play your Game Boy all day. You could actually get the cartridge and play any of your Game Boy games on your Super Nintendo. It was a great idea, and I'm sure it was a great marketing point. To play is human, to rewind is divine. It's a Super Nintendo cartridge. Really? Seriously, people? Well, we know it belongs to Blockbuster, but that's about it. Well, thanks Zach Tate for letting us borrow your Super Game Boy cartridge. You really helped us out with the review.
What the heck are you doing?
I'm getting the sticker off.
We just thought you really loved your Super Nintendo.
Well, I do, but I want the sticker off.
So you lick it?
Well, I don't have a wet rag.
Like, Michael, get off me or I'll lick you.
Of course. So, when you put this in, it looks a bit taller, but at least you can see what game you're playing. Now this is not a remake of the Super Nintendo. This is the actual Super Nintendo Entertainment System by Nintendo. This is the Model 2. You know, they had the Model 2 Genesis, which was more compatible with the Sega CD and the 32X. Well, this is Super Nintendo's version of this. It's, you know, smaller, more compact, top loading right in the middle, and it has the switch right here. It's really easy to use. And it's actually really slim, and it's got these little feet on it that allow it to stick to stuff, so it's not sliding everywhere. I mean, it's a really good design, and it doesn't take up much space, and it's got vents in the back. I like it.
Vents.
Oh, alright, now this sucks. When it doesn't work, you have to take it out, blow out the Super Nintendo, blow out the game, blow out the pin connectors on the game, and blow out the pins on the Game Boy game. That is a pain in the butt.
That's a lot of blowing. That's such a beast.
Yeah, it's a pretty good little intro screen, and it makes you feel like you're playing the Game Boy still.
Yeah, it does. I love that little border there. It's so great.
Listen to the music.
And notice it's not called the Rosetta Stone. It's just called Double Dragon 3.
Alright, and you get 1 and 2 players. Well, it's a Game Boy game, so you would have had to have had a link cord. But it's a Super Nintendo, so you can just have 2 controllers if you wanted.
Link cord? I thought those were only for Zelda.
No, that's definitely the little chain link thing he uses to get around.
Well, I'm glad to know they spelled Billy right.
Yeah.
That's an improvement.
So they made a fortune
Oh,
teller.
that crazy lady again!
Yep.
She looks even worse on the Game Boy. She's like bronze.
Yep. It looks like there's like a fire under or something, and it's like coming up in that scary thing where they have a flashlight and there's a fire. Well, we're
Mission
still in
on
America.
America.
And, wow, it really is pretty close to the Genesis version. You're even at the weapons shop.
It really is.
Those colors, though. I was never able to get past that with Game Boy games. It was just bland.
It is, but you know,
It
this
is for the original Game Boy though, not the Game Boy Color.
True.
So you only had a few colors to choose from.
It's a lot harder than the Genesis version. And I know we were talking about how hard we
Well,
thought.
because there's only 2 buttons.
I think with the whole graphics and the color scheme, if I had a choice, I'd rather go get a Nomad and play the Genesis version. Because it's portable either way.
I have a weapon now. It's a sword. But I had to pay a whole bunch of coins to get it, and now I don't have any spare coins. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I actually die.
I don't really know if that's supposed to be a sword or if he's
It's very
conducting this
little
villain.
movement for a sword thrust.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like he's just waving it around like a sissy, like,
Yeah.
get out of my way, you jerk.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Or he's conducting a band.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
could be
said.
that,
It looks
too.
like he's conducting
Maybe
the
it's the
criminal.
Wind Waker.
Yeah. That music
Don't-
is definitely not as good.
No, let's not look at that image too long.
Yeah.
Don't think about that too much.
Oh, wow. Hey, the car's here, too.
There's the
Yeah.
car, but it's slightly off.
Yeah, it's off center. I call foul.
And there's a fence back there.
And no cracks in the building.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tisk, tisk.
Well, there are tiny little ones there at the bottom. Oh, I lost my weapon.
Weird.
Now, one
was
disadvantage you have in this game is that, oh, what
was
did I
that?
just do?
What is going on? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh.
Well, apparently.
Oh, so it's a control screen. I think that's a pretty cool feature on the Super
Whoa,
Game
you
Boy
can change-
part.
Whoa, that's cool.
Awesome.
Whoa!
No more complaining on our
Yeah,
side about the colors.
it wins. Do the blue one. That was awesome.
That?
Yeah.
Alright.
That looks like
Oh, and
kind
you
of
can get
handy to
the-
me.
That one. The boy.
You can get different combo schemes. That's good. I'm saying with that.
Yeah.
That looks like military. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What's this one? Game Boy. Oh, you can change
Ooh.
that.
fancy.
What's this?
Nothing.
Oh, there we go.
Wow, you
Oh,
can change
that's
the
cool.
borders.
And you can get this one, which is, you know, like cats. So if you like playing Cubert, you got some ones like this. And then you got this one that looks like a desk.
So, in case you love school and learning, and you also own a Game Boy and play video games, then you can trick yourself into thinking you're still at school.
Yeah. All right. So overall, I think they're good games. I mean, I definitely played better. I don't like them that much, but they're great. They do have some of the best music for video games that I've ever heard. And I mean, I'm a little bit biased towards the Game Boy version now, just because of the awesome things we just found with the Super Game Boy thing. But out of the three we talked about, I have to say my favorite is the number 3 on Genesis, just from the music. It's basically the same game as the first one, but it just had better music, I think.
Now, I really love Game Boy. Especially just my Game Boy Color. It just feels right to play it. I don't know what about it, but you can't really plug it up to a TV or anything. I mean, you can do that with some of the newer portable classic game consoles, but the Super Game Boy really was a big thing. I loved it. You can play any Game Boy game you want on your Super Nintendo without having to use up batteries, which gets annoying after a while. And you get to choose the boundaries, and you get to color on the screen, and it's a really great thing. So, if you've got some classic Game Boy games like I do, then just get one of these. If you've already got a Super Nintendo, then you might already have it. So, I would just advise this to anyone. As far as the games go, Double Dragon is a really great game all around, and, I mean, you can't really nag on the NES for being worse than the Genesis because it's an 8-bit console. So it really did hold its own against the more advanced one. And even on Game Boy, it was pretty good, and it did a pretty good job emulating the Genesis game.
Alright, so looking at our stack of Double Dragon games here, first we have Double Dragon 1. And this was the NES version. It was manufactured by Trade West, which I'm assuming made the first arcade version. Then you have Double Dragon 3, which is kind of an oddball, because we noticed that the Genesis version was manufactured by Flying Edge, which was a division of Acclaim Entertainment, and the Game Boy version also says Acclaim on it. But here, I have Double Dragon 5, which says was manufactured by Trade West. So you can only assume that Double Dragon 3 was thrown in the mix by Acclaim, which was a completely different franchise. Double Dragon 3 is really an oddball, but it's a great game, and despite the cheesy cover art there and the cheesier cover art here, and just the overall appearance of the game itself, it really is a great game, and it's a good addition to the Double Dragon franchise if you like these beat 'em up games. It's a must-have for any serious gamer or any classic gamer.